The House Other Committee on Petroleum Product Subsidy Review organized a one-day retreat for its members to understand the task ahead of the committee, as well as prepare for it to carry out effectively the mandate given to it by the House of Representatives. Giving his remarks at the opening ceremony, the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Honorable Ibrahim Almustapha, said the retreat would provide opportunity for members tasked with the responsibility of uncovering what happened and restore the confidence of Nigerians.
And welcome to this very important gathering, a retreat of the Honorable Ad hoc Committee on Subsidy Regime. As you are aware, the committee was established by the Honorable House to investigate the subsidy regime, petroleum subsidy regime between 2017 to 2021, and that the House relied on relevant sections of the Constitution, particularly Section 88 and 89, and as well as Section 14 of the Constitution that deals with the welfare of the citizens. The PIA, that was popularly known before as PIB, that was championed by the 9th House of Representatives, and now it yielded fruition and is an act of its own, enabled the NNPC or bundle the NNPC to face the challenges of the future and equitably be able to deliver what is expected of it in the industry. The major question Nigerians ask is the issue of subsidy. That a lot has been said about it, how it happened, what goes around, what can be done about it. And I think in the wisdom of the 9th House of Representatives and the leadership, they feel there's no other time than now to be able to do something different and be able to tell Nigerians what goes around in the petroleum industry, particularly as it affects the subsidy. The consultants that are gathered here and the resource persons, I'm sure will do justice to the topics given to them, particularly on the way where we think the issue lies, what can be done to resolve the situation, and how we can handle the work effectively. I don't want to preempt what they will discuss, but particularly the mover of the motion hinged his argument or displeasure on particularly the DSDP, that's direct sales, direct purchase, and the attendant corrupt practice involved in the procedure. This House then is tasked with the responsibility of uncovering what happened and how we can effectively curtail the situation and restore confidence of Nigerians on the whole process. The second issue is the effectiveness or otherwise. Do we continue with the subsidy? Is there a need? What are the challenges? So I'm sure all this, the consultants will do justice to it.
The committee was constituted by the House of Representatives with a mandate to review subsidy regime from 2017 to 2021.
Well, everybody knows that recently, Nigeria's problem seems to have been subsidy. Television, radio stations, and every, public discourse talks of subsidy, as if there is no other thing that we have to do in this country. Subsidy ranging from, we were earlier told that subsidy in 2002 would be about 3 trillion. After a while, we were told that it can shoot up to 5 trillion, and recently 6 trillion. But let us ask ourselves, what exactly is the basis of this subsidy? Subsidy is that we import a petroleum product at a particular price or at a cost, which NNPC calls landing cost. And the petroleum product is sold at a controlled price of 162, 165. The landing cost, first of all, what is the landing cost? The landing cost has to do with what the exporter of petroleum products charges NNPC and other incidental charges before the petroleum product arrives at Nigerian shores, and other incidental costs. That is what NNPC calls landing cost. Pump price. Everybody knows what the pump price is. The official pump price, though, the official pump price is 162 naira per liter. In some places, 165. But the problem has been that where nobody knows how much exactly is the cost of a petroleum product per liter. That is the landing cost. It has been shrouded in secrecy. And as persons who have been monitoring the goings on in this area, we have tried to find out exactly what it is. But it has been elusive. But again, from the documentations we have on NNPC's representations, it ranges between 130 to 200 naira per liter as of today, and the pump price, as I said earlier, is 165. So the problem has been, the problem of subsidy has been the manipulation of these figures, not being sure of what it is or what it should be, and that is why nobody is certain about what subsidy should be. And that is why we are greeted with 3 billion, 5 billion, and 6 billion. It's endless. Then the next issue that I want to talk about is the direct sale, direct purchase. Of course, this is the arrangement that NNPC introduced in 2016 to be able to give domestic crude to some marketers in exchange of petroleum products. Now, the problem here has been, how do you balance the value of the crude oil NNPC gives to the marketers importing petrol and the value of petroleum product that comes into the country? That is exactly the main issue that we will suggest that the Honorable Committee takes time to look into it. How much crude does NNPC give to these marketers, and how much petroleum product do they bring in? Of course, if you don't use a common denominator, which is value, that is the dollars, you will always miss it. Then under this arrangement, you will see that NNPC takes domestic crude. They are allowed to take 445,000 barrels of crude a day to enable them provide for petroleum product for local consumption. We have seen that this allowance has not been monitored over the years, and then NNPC has been allowed to just take anything it pleases. And not only that, it's restricted to that allocation of domestic crude. We have seen that based on certain records, where NNPC may take about 138 million barrels in a year, in some places he would now declare that, oh, he didn't take 138 million barrels to provide for this petroleum product. He took only 107 million barrels. These are the issues that the committee will look at based on the documents that NNPC will be required to submit to the committee. And this is the key. And this is where the elusive nature of the subsidy lies. What domestic crude that is taken and what petroleum product that is brought into the country.
Now, the scenario I want to picture here is that in the crude, we have aviation fuel. In the crude, we have kerosene. In the crude, we have diesel. Have we been able to measure the crude you give, whether the equivalent of the cost built in the crude is given to you via PMS? This is where we will do our work. We want to know the commensurate benefit of crude that is given vis-a-vis the PMS you are giving to us. And some of these things you don't need to overboard yourself with perhaps travels or so. Technology has helped us so much that you can know prices all over the world. How do you tell us that in Nigeria we consume so much of petrol? How do you tell us? Sir, in our report we can give you the number of vehicles that fuel per day, and if possible the quantity each of these cars will take. In our report we will let Nigerians know whether it is better to do subsidy with petroleum or to do subsidy with yams and gari. For instance, if when I was traveling to Dubai, I filled my car. Nobody used it, my wife did not use it. I came back after 2 weeks. The fuel is still there. I used it for up to 1 week before it got finished. Eat today, distinguished member, and go to sleep thinking that the food will not finish. It will finish. You'll be hungry. It will work in your system and it will finish. This is a natural phenomenon. When you eat, it must finish. Whether you use it or you don't use it. Whether you go to sleep or you don't go to sleep. When you buy fuel, if you don't use it, it will remain there. Then why are you subsidizing it? Why are you subsidizing what will not finish if you don't use it? Now, we need to know the point of purchase. How much is it? What is the cost of their production in that country? We need to know the freight cost of bringing it into our Nigeria. We need to know for us to establish what is called landing cost. We don't know how much they are buying PMS from wherever they are buying from. You didn't give us evidence to see that this is actual cost of purchase. What you gave us is the quantity supply, and you sit down in your closet and fix price that this is the new cost because crude has increased. If crude is $200 per barrel, how does that translate to one aspect of the crude that we are buying from the international community? So, while I sympathize with the House because these people will fight back, it is better our operational mode is not even mentioned at all, so that we can sleep well. In 1998, we carried out investigation on toll gates. I handled Kotokarfi axis. And we discovered that 1% of what is being generated per day is not remitted to government. I think when Obasanjo came and saw the report, was very angry and said, demolish everything. And he now demolished every toll gate across the country. So I beg to say that this work, if it is holistically carried out, is going to help generation yet unborn. One single or very few individuals are benefiting fuel subsidy, not Nigerians. I must tell you that even if actual receipt is seen, how do you capture the fact that the fuel did not even land in Nigeria, or it simply passed through Nigeria to somewhere else? That is where the quantum of what we consume now come to play. Now, this work is a research work. It's a research work that will give us empirical evidence as to what we should do. And that should form the Ministry of Information and National Education Agency to convince Nigerians that we have lost so much in the past, and so we are no longer doing. In the year 2000, when MTN came into Nigeria and NITEL was regulated, I got my line in Lagos. We had to queue. That time we have international passport. I bought mine with 2,000 naira with Alcatel. 2 years later, Glo came in. MTN was doing per minute billing. Glo came with per second billing. MTN had no option than to follow suit. Today, you can get MTN line for 200 naira. No more ID card, no more international passport, no more queuing. Let me quickly add, by way of my submission, that including power, until we disallow the use of generators. The generator sellers will never allow you to do anything good in power. So the importers of petroleum will continue to give all languages to allow subsidy to continue and to create artificial hardship such that Nigerians will not withdraw from it. But by this report, if it is thoroughly done and it is well carried out to the public and to the populace, we are not supposed to subsidize anything. What is alleged we are consuming, we are not consuming it. Give me the number of cars in Nigeria that consume 1 million liters per day, and then I will give you the report of where the PMS is coming from. Thank you very much.
Where recoverable is necessary, we will design solutions to close the gap, leakages in PMS subsidy system. In the main, we as SVL on this assignment will conduct the following activity. 1. Hold meeting with all key players in PMS subsidy management and payment system. 2. Request and obtain records, data, files, bank statement, ledger, cash book, and all relevant financial records and documents through the committee summoned to the affected party to enable SVL and its associates have working material. Also, hold interview, discussion with relevant authority in the PMS subsidy management, including PMS marketers and dealers. Extract records, relevant data, figures necessary for various forensic analysis and evidence extraction. Apply both generic and non-generic forensic tools for analysis of data. Engage the committee at various times for purposes of interim briefing and or clarification of assignment focus. Produce a report of this assignment to the committee review and approval. Page 4. Determining, among others, assessment of oil subsidy management and performance of the Nigerian economy for the period under review. 2. Verification of the quantity of PMS imported by NNPC, other licensed importer, and the basis of determination of the quantity authorized for importation having regard to actual domestic consumption data. Also, verification of quantities of crude oil supply, refined as well as direct purchases. Evaluation of the subsidy payment system to determine possible sources of leakages, if any. Sorry, sir. Yes. If any, control the weaknesses in the system. Also, assessment of the role of agencies such as NNPC, CBN, MPA, FRS, Independent Marketer, Federal Ministry of Finance, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Verification of subsidy payment made from 2017 to 2021. Determine revenue losses through system leakages and recommend recovery strategy. Verification of non-payment of bridging costs from 2021 to Independent Petroleum Marketer and purported recent increase of 10 naira freight disbursement from interview granted to Independent Marketer, Suleja, who supplied to North Central States. Determine the continuity of subsidy payment after unveiling NNPC as a commercial venture and any other issue.
As I said, the subsidy was never meant to be open-ended. And we know in the 70s, when it was introduced, the objective then was to say, okay, let us see how the government can cushion the effect of, goods and services, because there was a sort of spike in inflation. And since we have this spike in inflation, it means goods and services can actually even go beyond the common man. So the government is looking at how it can cushion the effect, temporarily, not open-ended, as I said. So there was that continuous increase in subsidy, because, as I said, it was opened, and there was no deliberate attempt to actually set targets. The government needs to say, okay, when is this subsidy going to stop? That was not done.
The committee was constituted by the House of Representatives with a mandate to review subsidy regime from 2017 to 2021, following a motion moved on the floor of the Green Chamber on the 29th of June this year by Honorable Sergius Ogun from Edo State. Ogun informed the Green Chamber that the component cost in petroleum product subsidy value chain claimed by Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, is highly overbloated, while the transfer pump price per liter used in relation is underquoted. The House, however, resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the petroleum product subsidy regime from 2017 to 2021 and report back to the House within 8 weeks for further legislative action. Reporting for Atlantic Television Network, Abuja, I am Ada Ona Ifodo.